Today we are working Psalm 86. In Psalm Magic, some of the traditional uses for Psalm 86 are to overcome feelings of defeat, to bring peace, to bring healing to a community, and for deliverance from no-win situations. I like that one. Let's use Psalm 86 to win in a no-win situation. The way we work Psalm Magic is simple and effective. We take the psalm that we're working and we speak it out loud all the way through once without stopping. This recitation is known as an incantation. After we've finished with that, we go back through that same psalm and we consider each verse one at a time. And we do our best to dig for and find hidden occult meanings within each verse. We see those as magic seeds. And by just doing this, we not only uncover those magic seeds, but we plant them deeply in the fertile grounds of our mind, where they take root, they grow, they blossom forth, and they bear fruit after their kind. And that's what we are going to do together, you and I, right now, with Psalm 86. Bow down thine ear, O Lord, hear me. For I am poor and needy. Preserve my soul, for I am holy. O thou my God, save thy servant that trusteth in thee. Be merciful unto me, O Lord, for I cry unto thee daily. Rejoice the soul of thy servant, for unto thee, O Lord, do I lift up my soul. For thou, Lord, art good and ready to forgive, and plenteous in mercy unto all them that call upon thee. Give ear, O Lord, unto my prayer, and attend to the voice of my supplications. In the day of my trouble I will call upon thee, for thou wilt answer me. Among the gods there is none like unto thee, O Lord, neither are there any works like unto thy works. All nations whom thou hast made shall come and worship before thee, O Lord, and shall glorify thy name. For thou art great and doest wondrous things. Thou art God alone. Teach me thy way, O Lord, I will walk in thy truth. Unite my heart to fear thy name. I will praise thee, O Lord my God, with all my heart, and I will glorify thy name forevermore. For great is thy mercy toward me. For thou hast delivered my soul from the lowest hell. O God, the proud are risen against me, and the assemblies of violent men have sought after my soul, and have not set thee before them. But thou, O Lord, art a God full of compassion and gracious, long-suffering, and plenteous in mercy and truth. O turn unto me and have mercy upon me. Give thy strength unto thy servant, and save the son of thine handmaid. Show me a token for good, that they which hate me may see it and be ashamed, because thou, Lord, hast holpen me and comforted me. We are first and foremost addressing the Lord, and we have to define what that means. The Lord in Psalm Magic is not an external deity. It's not really a deity in that sense at all. It's a symbol for that which is one. There's only one. It's the source of all life. It's the substance of all that is. And there is nothing else but this one force, and one with this force is a majority. Whomever this force is for, nothing can be against. And since this force is for you, the success of your spell is guaranteed. We have to orient ourselves to this. We have to remind ourselves what the Lord is so that we don't get superstitious about our work, and we think in terms of things that are magical rather than religious. So what we are doing is aligning ourselves to this one source, one substance, one force, and allowing that force to work through us so that our goals may be met. And today our goal is to win in a no-win situation. Bow down thine ear, O Lord, hear me, for I am poor and needy. When we are saying that we are poor and needy, we are being clear that we have a problem. And being clear that we need help is such an important thing. It's not that we're talking down to ourselves. We're not being deprecating in that way. We're just being honest that I'm in need. I don't know what to do. I need help. That I'm in a no-win situation. and I need you to help me. When it says, bow down thine ear to me, O Lord, hear me, you have to remember that the Lord always hears you, but we are acknowledging the connection that we have. So it's us that need to connect with the Lord. The Lord sits in wait for us at all moments of time and points of space. The Lord can't and won't do anything without our asking. We are in charge of the asking, and so that's what we're doing now. We are asking. Preserve my soul, for I am holy. What a wonderful thing to remind ourselves. Why are you holy? Because that's how you were created. You weren't created needy. You weren't created to be in a no-win situation. It's not God's will for any of that to happen. You were created to be a ray of perfection. And that's exactly who you are and how you still exist. But we have an experience of something else here that is the result of our own egoic thinking, our own ego mind, our own misconception that we are separate and distinct from the Creator. And so now we are realigning with that force that is being called the Lord in these Psalms. Preserve my soul, for I am holy. O thou my God, save thy servant that trusteth in thee. To be saved means to solve the problem. Whatever the problem is that you brought to the Psalm, whatever the situation that you think is unsolvable, no win, that you're coming to this Psalm for, that's what you want to be solved. O thou my God, save thy servant trusteth in thee. So you're the servant of God. How can you serve God? It's not that you're going to bring God food. It's not that you're going to wash God's feet or something. You serve God by being yourself. How does a sunbeam serve the sun? By shining, by being itself. You're the servant of God by being, doing, and having God's will for you. What is God's will for you? Happiness, joy, success, freedom in all ways. So that's how you serve God, by being yourself, by being the soul that you are created to be. Be merciful unto me, O Lord, for I cry unto thee daily. So that's very dramatic, and that helps sometimes to be very dramatic. But it's not that we're crying, meaning complaining necessarily, and it doesn't even mean that we are calling out. It means that we are connecting to God daily. We are reminding ourselves every single day to realign with the force that is not only our source, but our substance, and the substance of everything that we need, everything that we require, everything that we desire comes from that source. So of course we want to connect with that, or it says cry unto. We want to connect with that daily. And to be merciful means to solve the problem, to get me out of the trouble and back into happiness, back into joy, which is my natural state, because that's how I was created. You were created to be happy. You were created to be harmonious and free and healthy and prosperous and all good things. That's what you were created to be. So anything that's not those things is a misalignment, where you are thinking in ways other than God's will for you. Rejoice the soul of thy servant, for unto thee, O Lord, do I lift up my soul. So when we lift up our souls, that means that we're climbing up that mountain. We're doing everything that is in our power to lift our thoughts, as high as we can. We're not going to just say, I'm just going to sit and say, poor me, and let God do it. It can't work that way, because infinite intelligence can only do for you what it can do through you. So we have to do our part. When we do our part, even if it's not that great, that's enough, because that's showing the willingness necessary for God to underwrite you and to lift you up the rest of the way. For thou, Lord, art good and ready to forgive, and plenteous in mercy unto all them that call upon me. Okay, first and foremost, when it says forgive, God doesn't hold anything against you. Infinite intelligence does not hold anything against you. Infinite intelligence does not condemn you. Therefore, infinite intelligence does not need to forgive you. However, when it says forgive, ready to forgive, it's meaning, in this sense, ready to heal, ready to realign, ready to fix it. to change it, to give you something good in place of whatever this is, to give you the solution to whatever this problem is. So God is good, the Lord is good, and plenteous in mercy unto all them that call upon thee. That means that you don't have to be a special person to do this. You don't have to know all the ins and outs of what the Hebrew means in all the Psalms. You don't have to have very specialized education in magic. You don't have to know anything about the Bible or world mythologies. You don't have to be smart in the world sense of what being smart is. All you have to do is call upon this power and be ready and willing to let it change your thinking. That's what you have to do, is you have to be willing to think in a new way. It's the only thing that you have to do. If you want to hang on to your old way of thinking, then the infinite will wait for you until you're ready to change, because nothing can happen for you except for through thought. And from thought, experience is what is manifest. So thought is the causative plane, and everything in the physical world is the plane of effect. But nothing in the physical world is changeable unless you first change your mind. You've got to call upon infinite intelligence and be willing and ready to change. Give ear, O Lord, unto my prayer. Again, this is us realigning, always reminding ourselves we are connecting with this force. Infinite intelligence is very smart. That's why it's infinite intelligence. So infinite intelligence already knows what your prayer is. Infinite intelligence knew what your prayer was before you formulated it. So it's not that God is saying, I'm so busy, I don't have time for you right now. And you're saying, no, but please listen to me. That's not what this is trying to convey. This is you reminding yourself that it's up to you to realign yourself over and over again to this force in order for it to work through you. So it says, give ear, O Lord, unto my prayer, and attend the voice of my supplications. So this is giving you an understanding that your words have power. Your words, and not only your spoken words, but your thought vibrations, all of that has the same kind of power as God's word when God created you and God created the world, because God didn't create in time. God creates in the present moment. And so you create in the present moment as well. When you're giving your words to God, you're asking that your words be realigned as well. Teach me what to speak, teach me how to think, show me what to do, how to think, how to be, how to act, so that this situation gets resolved. In the day of my trouble, I will call upon thee, for thou wilt answer me. Okay, so this is putting it in the future, what you're doing right now, but it's also a reminder that no matter what's going on, go to God first. We tend to not go to God. And when I say God, you're going to have to be adult enough to translate that in your mind to something that's meaningful to you, because I can't know what each and every person listening to this says when they're talking about a higher power. So I don't know your terminology or your traditions or any of that. So you're going to have to fix that for yourself. So I'm saying God because that's just the most generic term I can come up with. So when it says, in the day of my trouble, I'll call upon thee, what happens is we call upon God frequently as a last resort because nothing else worked. And that's a waste of time, because nothing that we can come up with is ever going to rival what God comes up with for us. And therefore, what we have to do is understand that we, in order to be effective in this life, must be a partnership with this power. We must partner with this power. Nothing can happen for us other than what can happen through us, but we don't want to do it all by ourselves either. We want to have the infinite and us working together as a team. And it says, so in the day of my trouble, I will call upon thee. First thing is what you want to remind yourself. First thing, I'm going to call upon the infinite, for thou wilt answer me. Always. God answers you before you call, but sits there waiting for that call. And once you call, the answer was already there. So There's no time. There's no waiting. It's not like you have to make an appointment. It's not like National Health Service or something where you make an appointment and maybe in 3 months you can get an examination. No, you go in and you call upon God, and God is there right then, that second, waiting for you. Among the gods there is none like unto thee, O Lord, neither are there any works like unto thy works. So among all the gods, there is the only God that you need to concern yourself with is the one true God. And any other God that needs to be taken, that needs to be involved, let that God take care of that for you. It's not up to you necessarily to have to, especially when you're going through something that's a no-win situation, it's not up to you to figure out all the metaphysical and occult correspondences necessary to get your resolution. When you're doing psalm magic, none of that matters. And I'm not saying that doesn't have its place. It obviously does, but not today, not in this. In this, what we're doing is we're going to the source. We're going to the primary force and letting all of the stuff that needs to happen be taken care of from there. You're going to go to the primary cause of all that is and ask for help and let it take care of all of the details for you. And you will be told, you will be shown, you will be guided, you will be given every assignment that you need to be given in order to take care of it. And it's going to be a unique situation for you. Among the gods there is none like unto thee, O Lord, neither are there any works like unto thy works. It's the primary cause of all that is. So anything that doesn't come from this source doesn't really exist. It's just a fan. So if there's a problem in your life, that's an illusion, and it came from a cause that doesn't exist. The only real cause is the infinite. This force, infinite intelligence, that's the only cause. And anything that doesn't originate from that cause doesn't really exist. But because we have powerful minds, we can believe it does. We can have an illusion that it does. And our egos are really smart because we are really smart. And it's just how we use our mind against ourselves. We can come up with all kinds of proof that something bad is happening. So we have to get very clear and commit ourselves that we're only going with the primary cause here. We're only going with infinite intelligence. And we are willing to let infinite intelligence wipe the slate clean, get rid of all of our erroneous thinking that is causing manifestations to occur which are not part of its will for us. We have to be very clear that we're willing for the infinite to wipe that slate clean, because the only thing we want is that which God wills for us right now. We trust that God's will for us is happiness. All nations whom thou hast made shall come and worship before thee, O Lord, and shall glorify thy name. The nations are overarching thought forms. So the only overarching thought forms which we want are the ones which we were created with. Those are the only thought forms that are good for us. The thought forms that we come up with all by ourselves without having any interaction with the infinite, those are guaranteed to cause us problems. Those are guaranteed to bring pain. We don't want those. So all nations whom thou hast made shall come and worship before thee. What is worship? To worship is to work. The only thing that's going to be working in our lives, the only thing that's going to be having any activity in our lives are the thought forms which we were created with. In other words, the divine design, everything that's true about us. Literally everything else will not work. And shall glorify thy name. So all of these thought forms are there to glorify the name of God. What's the name of God? The name of God are the qualities of God. So everything in your life is going to start reflecting all of those qualities. Infinite life, infinite soul, infinite spirit, infinite intelligence, infinite truth, infinite love, infinite presence, infinite law. That's what is going to be in operation. The name of God, the qualities of God. Everything else is going to stop. For thou art great and doest wondrous things. Thou art God alone. Say your name is Joanne. There's not two of you. There's not three of you. There's just one of you. And somebody is impersonating you, stealing your identity, that kind of thing. That doesn't make them you. It just makes them an imposter. It just makes them a thief. But it doesn't make them you. They can make other people believe they're you. They can go create fake profiles on Facebook and stuff like that and say, look at me, I'm Joanne. But that doesn't make them Joanne. So it's important to understand why we want to remind ourselves that there's only one. There's not a million. Now, there can be many manifestations of God, absolutely. And we're not saying that you can't have an experience of working with pantheons and all of those wonderful things that we do in magic and in the craft. There's a place for all of it. But you have to come from the point of view and understanding that there's only one force. There's only one light. There's only one mind. And that way there's nothing to oppose it. So thou art God alone. There's one. Teach me thy way, O Lord. I will walk in thy truth. Unite my heart to fear thy name. To fear the name of God is to be in ecstasy of the qualities of God, is to absolutely feel ecstatic about it. When you have an ecstatic feeling about the qualities of God, you forget that there's things like problems. You forget this trouble, and you recognize that ecstatic feeling of God is the healing tonic that breaks apart everything unlike itself. Teach me thy way, O Lord, I will walk in truth. To walk in truth is to walk on sphere number 4, which is also the sphere of mercy, and Jupiter, which is also prosperity and expansion. So when you're walking in God's truth, that means that you're walking the way of truth. And every place you put your foot is sacred ground, is holy ground. And when you allow God to teach you, what that means is that inner guidance that you have tells you where to put your foot. And if you take the time to ask, show me, each and every day, and hopefully each and every moment to the best of your ability, as often as you can, which way do I go? Which way do I go? You will be out of this difficulty lickety split. I will praise thee, O Lord my God, with all my heart, and I will glorify thy name forevermore. When you are praising God, to praise something simply means to get enthusiastic about how good it is. What is God? God is everything good in your life. If you're not noticing anything good in your life, then you're not praising God. Then you're praising your problems. And what you praise expands. So for now, you're going to turn away from your problem completely and put all of your focus on praising God. How do you praise God? Not by saying, oh, Mr. Jehovah up in the sky, aren't you great? Won't you do something nice for me? No, that's not what praising God is. Praising God is getting enthusiastic about what is good in your life. You must find the good in your life and praise it. Anything, everything that you can think of. Counting your blessings. To glorify the name of God forevermore. To glorify something is to glow with it, is to have your vibration so fast that you create a light and a glowingness, and your aura gets brighter and brighter and brighter because you are so excited and happy about this thing. So you're excited and happy about the name of God. We don't want to get so superstitious about either God or God's names. We want to understand that means the qualities of God. I've got several lectures on the qualities of God, and you can listen to those and understand that if you can vibrate and get excited and happy about what those qualities are, those things in your own aura start to vibrate. And then you start to change the things that you're manifesting and the things that you're attracting. It's very practical. For great is thy mercy toward me, and thou hast delivered my soul from the lowest hell. The lowest hell is the place where you feel the most disconnected from the infinite, where you feel the most alone, where you only have the darkness inside of you as your companion. And so infinite intelligence delivers you from that because you are changing your mind about it. You're no longer exposing your consciousness and your awareness to that. You are now turning and facing the source of all life and all of the qualities of that source. And that is what your mind is now being filled with. And so that's how you can align with that mercy. Mercy is the solving of your problems, getting you out of pain, relieving you of all burden. And you do that by remembering the source rather than pondering your problem. O God, the proud are risen against me, and the assemblies of violent men have sought after my soul, and have not set thee before them. So the proud are risen against me, that's your own ego, mind, and the assemblies of violent men have sought after my soul. Everything in the ego is programmed to attack you. All of those ego thoughts are assemblies of violent men seeking after your soul. The ego is so insane that it thinks it can kill your soul. That's insanity, because your soul is immortal. Nothing can touch your soul. It's completely protected. You can think that your soul is vulnerable. You can have experiences that's happening, but it can't happen. So that's the proud risen against you, is your own ego mind. But thou, O Lord, art a God full of compassion and gracious, long-suffering, and plenteous in mercy and truth. So that's pretty self-explanatory, but we're talking about infinite intelligence's presence in and of itself is compassion, is graciousness, is long-suffering, meaning no matter what, you can't hurt it. You can't piss God off. You can't make God just give up on you. You can't do any of that stuff. God is there for you because God is your source. Plenteous in mercy and truth, again with sphere number 4, Jupiter's sphere on the tree of life. All that you need, all that you require to not only overcome this problem, but to have joy and to have success and to have a complete turnaround is available to you, because it's all part of infinite intelligence. And you are an extension of infinite intelligence. And until you can get back to understanding that you function naturally as that, then you're going to have problems because you think that you're separate and all alone. So we're healing that rift in your mind. O turn unto me and have mercy upon me. Give thy strength unto thy servant, and save the son of thine handmaid. The son of thine handmaid, in this regard, I like to think of as the Shekinah. So you're the child of the god and goddess. The goddess is the womb, the mother, and that is all compassion. She is what they call the Holy Spirit in Christianity, or the goddess in neo-paganism. She is everything that is compassion. She's everything that you think of in the most perfect sense when you think of the love of a mother for their child. It says, give strength unto thy servant. So you're the servant of God again. And now we have both mercy and strength being talked about. So that's that partnership between sphere number 4 and sphere number 5 on the tree of life. That's mercy and severity, Mars and Jupiter working together, so that nothing is going to be able to stand up against you. Nothing is going to defeat you, because you've got the entire body of God behind you, working for you. That's how important you are. That's how much of a spiritual giant you are. The entire angelic host is here for you, for this problem right now, completely on your side, getting ready to make sure that you're successful and to heal this. That's how important you are. Show me a token for good, that they which hate me may see it and be ashamed. So show me, give me a sign, give me a lead, show me what I need to do, and remind me over and over again about your presence. Give me very clear signs about your presence, so that I'm not always going back to the part of me that hates myself. I'm not beholden unto the ego. The ego being ashamed is exactly what you want, because when the ego is ashamed, it no longer has power over you, because it knows that you understand what's going on and the game is over and it has no power over you. Because thou, Lord, hast hope in me and comforted me. So you got help and comfort from the infinite. And this isn't because there's a special circumstance or you found the right spell or something. This is how it's supposed to be. The infinite loves you so much that it's a constant thing, that you always get the help that you need. You always get the gifts that you need. You always get everything that you need, as long as you remember to use your mind in the right way, to turn toward that and reestablish that partnership with the infinite, rather than always going into your aloneness, going into your isolatedness, where you're cutting yourself off from that, thinking all by yourself. So you just keep coming back to this psalm each and every day until you get a sense that everything's working out. You get a sense of peace and certainty that all is well. And when you get that sense of peace and certainty, your spell is cast. And then you can stop casting that spell and move on to something else. Thank you so much for joining me. Until next time, blessed be.